get this? Well, you have... How did I go from a hammock to this? Well... gravitational force equals the negation of the negative part of the charge. So we have a positive charge of gravitational force equals or multiplied by the positive mass of 1 in free space plus the positive mass of 2 in free space, or the two weighted balls that you have. The mass equals how strong the charge is, and there are 2 of them, so you'd have 2 charges over positive force of mass in free space of 1 multiplied by the positive force of mass in free space 2. This, instead of just putting it up there, the reason I put it down there, this represents over. So it's, instead of dividing, I'm kind of representing it as it is proportional or equal to, or it's similar, or it has an effect. So, because of that, the 2 forces magnify the attraction of the charge upon the force. And that charge, so the force of the magnet, so how much the force of the mass, how much the weighted ball weighs, tells you how strong the gravitational charge is, and then that same force of that mass tells you the multiple or the constant that your gravity is at. Is what I'm pretty much saying. It's pretty much saying that if I have one force multiplied by another force, and that force determines the strength. It's not how you represent strength, I'm pretty sure. The strength of the charge which is then proportional to the mass plus the mass. Or what I'm saying here is that the strength of the charge is, or the strength of the attraction caused by the charge is proportional to the force multiplied by the force, is proportional to the force of any 2 given masses. And that force is determined by its mass, which then determines the strength, not the attraction, the strength of the charge. And then that same charge multiplied by negative mass in free space, and which is then multiplied by 4 over 3 pi r cubed with respects to diameter. Our hammock was in an oval, so that's the equation for the volume of the oval, plus the lines, or the infinitesimal, the line segments, and in every direction, or infinite line segments in every direction. We'll be able to plug that into this later too. So, and then that's over the bend that this creates. So, the equation for the volume of a sphere. As we state, the bend and the hammock from the weighted ball, it's all tied together. So, I take that, I simplify it a little bit, and I get... This equation would be incorrect, but I would have equals this, whatever this is, the constant for the gravitational charge, which would then be multiplied by a mass in free space plus a mass in free space with respects to f of m squared. This would be incorrect because this is saying that both the objects, and it can't be squared because it's multiple gravitational forces. So this would be if this was squared, but it's not. So this would be incorrect, and that would be then divided by the negation. This I made up. Which would then be multiplied by negative mass, 1 free space, divided by no, let's go and bring this back. For this one, I'm just going to go and represent it like that. Of due to the gravity. This is very simplified. If I were to write out the equation that I have memorized right now, I could probably do I don't know, but you'll have to see that in the next video because this is going to